Good afternoon, menopause ladies, or really, should I say, me no pause. Okay? All right. This is Dr. Deborah Roba, the Menopause Whisperer. How are you doing today? Well, I am thrilled. I'm excited about our second day of masterclass. Now, yesterday we spoke about rethinking and thinking about who we are, what we do, how we do it. But I think the main thing, I'll say the lesson that I got out of yesterday is that we are queens. I had the opportunity to show you three different crowns. A little crown, because sometimes that's how we think of ourselves, or a mid-sized crown. But then again, we move on to having a beautiful crown. That's what we did yesterday. So I challenged the ladies that viewed, and all of those of you who viewed us on a replay, I challenge you to get your own crown. Find one that exemplifies who you are in your queenliness. Okay? All right. Now, today we're moving from rethinking, okay, because it's a process to be a me no pause sister or me no pause CEO. And when I say CEO, some of us act like menopause is the boss, and we're just, oh, whatever you say, however we should do it, when should we do it? I'm challenging you to move from a framework, a way of thinking of yourself as the CEO. Okay? Okay, let's think about it that way. Now, so we've moved from rethinking to renewing. Okay, you say now, what's about this renewing? Okay, what does that really mean? Well, when we're thinking about how we're managing our menopause, this stage of our lives, sometimes we think we can be like the ever ready bunny. We're just zipping around, zipping around, zipping around. And then we have the question, I'm tired, I'm tired, and I'm tired. Why do you think that is? That's because we have neglected to renew ourselves. Now, some of you might think, okay, now, Deborah, what does that renewing? Okay. Well, let me say this, and this is something I had to take within myself because I had gotten to the point I was working when I was working full time before my retirement. I worked at least on my job at least 60 hours and sometimes 80 hours a week. I would get up 2 o'clock in the morning, send out emails to my staff. I would be late at night trying to figure out what the solution was. Never gave myself an opportunity to renew. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to share with you. I have, notes, as you know, I keep notes written down. It is renew, a process of making new. Hmm. A process of making new. I don't know if you've ever really even thought about that. That there's a way that you're supposed to be renewing yourself every day or several times during the day to get your body, your mind, your spirit into alignment. Now, I remember back when I was in kindergarten and back when I was in the first grade, second grade, we used to, now I'm telling my age here, they used to sell us these pretzels for a penny, these cookies, I can still taste the cookies, and containers of milk. And we would take a break. But not only that, we would go out for recess. They did not have us going step by step by step by step all day long. They gave us a chance to pause. Had you thought about giving yourself recess throughout the day? And I'm not just haphazardly thinking about recess, but had you thought throughout the day to give yourself a period to pause? I'm going to tell you what my hint is right now. This is what I'm doing for me. I might have a series of major tasks throughout the day, but what I'm learning to do is when I finish one task, I sit and I pause. I might put some music on. I might sit and watch something on television. I might just get my Bible and take time to meditate and to pray. But we need to singularly, throughout the day, take a time to pause, time to renew your strength. Now, there is a physical way of getting yourself aligned, and that's rest. And we're going to talk about that a little later, especially that whole thing of menopause and sleep. Have mercy. Okay. Now, oh, we had somebody come in and they said that they, yes, pause for 1 hour each day. I love that. Now, I can't see your name, but I love that. Can you give us some examples of what you do within that 1 hour to pause? And I love the way she put in capital PAUSE, pause. So share that with the rest of you. I want you to share, how do you pause? Because we're a community. We're a group of women that are trying to help ourselves. And please forgive me. I had this phone call here, but I'm turning this off. This is not going to happen. I forgot to turn the radio off or the phone off. Okay, so that is done. See, time to pause. Something so simple as, do you answer the phones on the phones all day long? Another example, what you can do is at night, I set it up with my phone where after a certain time, like 10 o'clock, I stop all those phone calls. I stop all those notifications. And then about 6 o'clock, it goes back in. Now, for those of you, especially if you have certain members of the family, you can put in your phone, there's a time, no matter who it is, that phone call comes through. But all of those notifications, those texts, those, oh my goodness, pause. You hear me? Pause. Now, another thing is emotional renewal. Hmm. Now, we talked a little bit about, and especially in the midst of this COVID situation, there is constantly pull and tug. Even today, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she says, I'm trying to find test kit. Just as the fact of trying to find a test kit is stressing you out because you can't find one. Because every time you turn around, somebody else, be it at work or be it at church or be it at some kind of event, somebody tests positive. So you need to make sure. We need to pause. Seriously. Okay. Now, let me just share with you. Not only do we need to rest, we need a physical, emotional, but there's some things in life that we need to renew. Now, I'll give you my example, my most recent example. I went to the pharmacy yesterday, and the young lady was so nice. I went through the drive-through because I figured, okay, if I go through the drive-through, oh, okay. Oh, somebody though. Okay, come on now. It says, Cheryl, she says, at 3 p.m., I get in my recliner and put on instrumental music and chill out. I love that. I'm gonna read that again. 3 o'clock. Now, see, when she puts there 3 o'clock, that says to me, I have designated a time, 3 o'clock. I get in my recliner, not standing up, but recline, and put on instrumental music and chill out. She has identified the time, the location, what things she put in place, and the outcome. Chill out. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, thank you. If anybody else have any more to add, because this is helpful for me and also for all of us. But I was telling you about my story about going to the pharmacy yesterday, and I drove up to the pharmacist and I wanted my prescriptions because you know how they text you and say, "Look, you better come or it won't be there after today." So I said, "Let me get this taken care of." Went there and they said, Miss Roba, your prescription here is $300. Say it again. Miss Roebuck, your prescription is $300. I said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I know with my health plan that I have a certain amount every year I can pay for my prescription. Some of my prescriptions are quite expensive, but I figured I was at the point, the new point, the renewing point of my health plan. She said, I'm going to tell you something. I think you better call them up. And I prayed about it. I said, okay, I will do that. I sat in my car. I got out my insurance plan. First of all, I had forgotten to call in for my new card. You know, when they send you a new card and you call back in. So therefore, as far as the pharmacy was concerned, I didn't have something in place for fiscal year 2022. So I called the young lady up. I talked to her. She said, oh, Miss Roebuck, let me make sure that we have this stuff in place. Then she says to me, go back to the pharmacies, tell them to renew you and that you have a clean slate. You are starting anew. Remember, we talked about the definition of renew, starting anew, or being in alignment. Girl, by the time I finished talking to the lady, they work with me. One lady even said, girl, go on up front. You've been here off and on all day. My prescription went down from $300 or something down to $100 for 3 months. Some of the things we are doing, we are sabotaging ourselves. That's why I titled this today, Renew, Slay, Sabotaging Menopausal Actions. We know stuff is going on, but we haven't even paused. And that's what I did. I paused in my car and made the phone call to find out something so I could move forward and be renewed on my plan. Now, I want you to know this. Usually I put out a blog and what have you during November, December, telling folks, you know, you got to make sure your health plan is in place. This is when you make decisions. Well, some of you did, some of you didn't. But I want to say to you, this is the beginning of new year. Play like you know nothing. Call up your health plan, member services, and ask questions. I even said to them yesterday, well, you know, I heard about this thing that you, as a health plan, give so much money for over the counter. Because you know, some of the things, Band-Aids, whatever, is over the counter. And so our regular plan don't pay for it. She said, oh, yes, Ms. Roebuck, I'll send you the card and you can have $30 a month for over-the-counter expenditures. See, sometimes when you take a pause, ask the questions, get yourself in alignment, not only will you be status quo, but you're going to move ahead. You're going to progress. Take a pause. Think about what you're really needing to do and move ahead. Now, I have another example. I had to think about this. What other thing happens in my life? Renewal every year, and I might have put it off. I'm going to tell you what it is because I just celebrated year 5 of being diagnosed with breast cancer. It wasn't anything like, oh, I got this going on. Oh, I got this going on. I got a family history, all this stuff. All I knew is every September, and I usually go on a mission trip, short-term mission trip, be it Alabama or go to Mississippi, working in a community. Um, um, and members of my church, we all go down there, have a wonderful time, a wonderful learning experience. But I knew as soon as I flew home that I had already scheduled a breast cancer mammography, for breast cancer. No problem. This time, I went in there, didn't think anything about it. I said, I'm going in, I'm going to leave it out. They said, wait a minute, Miss Roebuck, we got to do an ultrasound. Wait a minute, Miss Roebuck, we need to do a biopsy. Wait a minute, Miss Roebuck, we're going to have to do something because you have invasive breast cancer. That's because I normally put every year a health routine in place because I'm trying to live. Now, I'm challenging some of you. Some of you have not been back. We talk about sabotaging menopausal actions. Some of you have not been back to your GYN since you had your last baby. Some people I talk to, it's been 20, 30 years. And I'm saying, well, what is the problem? Have you got your pap smear? Well, I don't think I need to do all that. Oh, yes, you do, because just like you go to the dentist, and I hope you're going to the dentist, because if you're not going to the dentist will make sure your teeth are healthy. And if you're not, you're causing inflammation throughout your body. It impacts all different parts of your body. But I hope you're going to the GYN. Get a status report. Make sure everything is going well in that area. And I'm going to tell you, because it's hard to get appointments, you should be making it a year ahead of time. For those of you who have not, now you know what I'm getting ready to say. When we finish this session today, I want you to call the doctor, your health provider, whatever, and get it checked out. Oh, I'll do this next week. No, sabotage. Let's slay that kind of thought, that kind of behavior, that kind of way of doing things when it comes to the valuable aspect of your life. Yes, I'm preaching. But I can't help it because I care about you. All right? Okay. And what I want you to do, send me a DM, a direct message, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Go to my website, goingthroughthechange.com, and you can send me a note or a letter. You got additional questions or what have you. I care about you. We're talking about renew. I'm talking about all aspects of renew. Sometimes, I realize this, that people, somebody said, preach. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I don't want to offend anybody, but when I care about you, these are things I want to say. Okay. Also, I want you to, I'm going to hop to a different topic. Okay. Oh, hey, Vanessa. Oh, Vanessa is in St. Croix, and she's saying hi to all of you sisters here in the United States. Okay, if there's anybody else who's from other places, be it from Kenya, be it from Panama, now these are places I do different things. That's why I'm putting that out there. Please, Guatemala, please wave and say hi. Okay, and I know sometimes Myra, she's down in Guatemala doing various things for women and children. So let me just say this. Let's give you a couple quick science facts about this whole thing of renewal and resting and pausing. I'm going to read some of these things off real quick because we're almost, oh my goodness, it's already been 20 minutes, and I try to keep it between 20 to 30 minutes. But out of the National Institute of Occupational Health, they're saying even in the work situation, now some of y'all work through your lunch. I did. I'm going to tell you straight up, I did it. And it was not advantageous to my health. You hear me? They talking about if you don't do these things, you're decreasing your immune system so it can attack the various things that are going on. You're causing yourself opportunities for heart disease or risk for heart disease. And that's something Vanessa can really talk about. Vanessa Verl, she is on Facebook. She does many of different types of topics. So I said, go ahead and check her out. Okay. Also, let me just say this. I'm going back to this sleep. I did not realize not only does sleep impact the fact you're tired, also it can impact a higher incidence of diabetes, not sleeping. Let me tell you, weight gain. Sleep is so important. And one of the things that we're going to talk about at the boot camp that I'm doing January the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we're going to do a whole thing on rest, the different aspects of rest. We're going to talk about sleep, 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 sleep. Important. I used to feel guilty. Well, I could be doing this. I could do this. I could do this. I wind up finding out I went because I wasn't sleeping. I found out that I had sleep apnea. They told me I stopped breathing so many times I got severe sleep apnea. And I said, oh my goodness, is that why I can't sleep all night? Let me tell you, whatever the situation is, I want you to get it checked out. There's some other things. There's so many things I have here. I got all these pages of information, but I'm going to get ready just to close out. Some of the things I want to say to you is no matter what, when it comes to renewal, we have a responsibility to ourselves. And sometimes we act like people are going to say, oh, I'm so concerned about you. What have you train people how to treat you? So, and many of us are the models in our family when it comes to health, self-care, decreased stress. One of the things I'm going to ask you is, have you set up your annual appointments for this year? Next question. We talked about GYN, but I'm just talking about primary. Have you at all, this is another question, if you have an issue going on and you're not satisfied with the doctor or the healthcare professional said to you, did you pause a minute and go and get a second opinion? Well, I got an issue going on right now. I called the healthcare people and I said, if I go and get a second opinion, do I have to pay? They said, no, that's part of your plan. Okay? If you're so concerned about being strong and making it through menopause, what way are you feeding yourself intellectually about how to stay healthy? Are you reading the labels on the food you're eating? Are you making use of the exercise program your health coverage provides? Ladies, I'm serious. I'm all about this new year, 2022. I want you to think about what is your word going to be for this year and how is that going to reflect on how you think and how you're going to renew yourself to be the best that you know you can be. I thought about my word for this year. It's going to be abundance. Yeah, and I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about abundance of all the gifts and things that God has given me, and that is life. I want you to think about it. I want you to look at actions that you can do to renew yourself. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about reimagine. Okay, we talked about maybe things that happen in the present, things that happen right now. But let's look in the future. We could be so, look the future over the next 3 months. You're talking about the year. Let's break it down. What am I going to do over the next 3 months that's going to make me live a life of grace, confidence, ease, style? We'll see. I got the questions for you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. I want you to register because we only had so many days before the boot camp pulls everything together and increase the price. So it's very reasonable. It's a 3 day. Most of the people, oh, we have so much fun, but also we help set the compass going into the new year. Ladies, it's a pleasure always. And let's look at ways we can slay those sabotaging menopausal actions. Now, you remember I said you don't have an appointment, call right after this, okay? And I want to hear about it. God bless you. It's been a privilege to share with you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.